wanted to find out what you're really getting for your money and who is the most accurate in our tax test.
You want to do this one?
Paul and Kelly Haddock enjoy spending time with their son, but they don't like spending time doing their taxes, so they pay a professional.
It's just convenience.
But does it always pay off to have someone else do it for you, or should you do it yourself?
I've never tried to do any taxes myself.
But the Haddocks are willing to try. We asked them to try Turbotax and shop their tax return to 2 local tax services, and the results are surprising.
That is bad.
We start our hidden camera test at H&R Block, but when we ask about price,
it depends on the form. Some forms are more complex than others.
Paul Haddock lives in Missouri but works in Kansas and does odd jobs on the side, so they decide to itemize.
These are your itemized deductions and your exemptions.
The preparer deducts the miles Paul puts on his car for work-related sales calls and seems at ease with the return.
You're going to actually get a refund.
Their refund? $1,446. The cost to get the return done is $463, leaving them with a total of $983.
Can I help you?
Across town at Liberty Tax Service, the Haddocks are promised a better deal.
I used to work at Block.
Oh, you did?
The tax preparer starts the Haddocks return but needs help from her supervisor.
Why you put it on schedule?
She gets back on track only to get off track once again. She asks for help 10 times.
Miss Betty, may you come here, please? I'm going to have Miss Betty come up here. Betty, when you get a chance, would you come over here?
And all this leaves the Haddocks uneasy.
Kind of made me curious, are they doing my taxes right?
When Liberty Tax Service is done, the refund? $1,464. That's just $18 more than H&R Block. Plus, we pay a $431 fee.
A third of what we were supposed to be getting back, they're taking away from us to cover the expenses.
So we try a less expensive option. We buy Turbotax for just $80. In no time at all, the Haddocks are filing their own taxes.
It tells you step by step exactly what to put in where.
But the Haddocks hit a few snags when it comes to the Kansas return. Plus, they don't know where to deduct Paul's work mileage.
With a little more time spent, I could figure that out.
But until they figure it out, Turbotax leaves them with only a $229 refund.
TurboTax is good if you kind of have an idea of what the end result is supposed to look like.
Linda Ripple is the former president of the KC chapter of the Missouri Society of CPAs and has 7 years' experience reviewing tax returns. She looks at all 3 of our returns.
And this return is not complicated at all. It's very easy.
Linda has no idea who we tested. We label the returns A, B, and C. Linda immediately finds problems on the do-it-yourself return.
Well, this taxpayer should not have done it on their own.
Paul admits he missed a few deductions, but Linda says he'll have a tough time figuring out how to fix it and found he took a deduction he's not entitled to.
You got to know the law.
So how well did our pay tax preparers know the law? Remember, we paid them more than $400 each. Both prepared returns differed by just $18, but our expert says there is a big difference in the accuracy.
And I found a couple mistakes that I just felt like shouldn't have been made that were fairly obvious.
Linda says Liberty did the mileage wrong and missed the self-employment tax.
The mistake in theory is it's bad.
But Linda is pleased with what she finds in H&R Block's return.
As far as I can tell, there wasn't any mistakes.
Linda says it's not price, but quality service that matters.
The fact that they needed 2 people to do a return that wasn't that difficult, that whole situation would make me want to run for the hills.
Miss Betty, may you come here, please?
Now, Liberty tells me it's embarrassed when an error is made, but adds that there is no system of quality control to catch an error. It offers classes to its tax preparers and even asked our customer if she wanted to take a class. Our preparer is getting extra training, and the company says when an error is found, it will fix your taxes and also give you a refund if you're not satisfied. Now, as for H&R Block, they are pleased with our results and say it's typical that its tax professionals have about 8 years of experience and 250 hours of training. Turbotax says it also tries to make its software as user-friendly as possible, and after spending more time, Paul did figure out some